Hey there, everyone. Merry Christmas. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. The last video that I had uploaded to go on Sunday, um, in the editing process, I realized that there was a lot of feedback coming from my hearing aid because I didn't turn them off properly, and so I got it fixed. This video is all about the wrap up for the books that I've read in full. Do they follow my fall TBR? Maybe. But hey, we're gonna work with it cause it's new and on brand. Anyways, before we get started, make sure to... Where are my lights on? Yes, they are. You just can't tell. Anyway. Before we continue, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you haven't. I upload every week. So, yeah, let's get to it, shall we? First, we'll go through the standalone novels, an audiobook that I have read, and then we'll get into the series. Alrighty, let's get to it. First, we have read is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Four strangers decide to live in Hill House to investigate the spooky phenomenon that is happening in the house. The longer they stay, the worse it's getting, and there are a lot of twists and turns and slow burn, not romance, but there's a slow burn horror, you know? I wasn't left terrified, but I was left very uneasy while reading this book. Phenomenal read. Next, we have A Monster Calls by, Patrick Ness. It is so worth getting the illustrated version because they pack a whole different kind of punch altogether. This book is about a young boy named Connor who is dealing with his mother's illness. And, just stuff is happening. A monster comes to him at precisely 12:07 a.m. and tells him that he is going to tell him 3 stories, but the 4th one is a story that Connor will tell the monster. Takes about a couple of weeks, the storyline, but it is phenomenally written. It is so sad, so heartbreaking, and you really deal with your own grief. You're dealing with all these emotions that are so raw and so perfect, and it is so beautiful. Honestly, my favorite book of the year. Next, we have The Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, who is the illustrator of the graphic novel. This is, I think, the second of third graphic novels that I have read of all year, and it is wonderful. It takes place on the last night on Josie and Deja's workplace of the pumpkin patch. They realize that through all 4 years, they have never actually experienced the wonder of the pumpkin patch. And so they decide to have a little bit of fun for the next few hours. It is a very quick read, as graphic novels go. It is wonderful, and it's lovely, and it's got a lot of humor, got a lot of heart. Perfect for a cozy night in. Next, we have The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapina. A couple goes to a dinner party next door, leaving their 6-month-old baby asleep. Now, because the holes are attached and the walls are thin, they realize that it's fine, that it'll be fine, they'll hear the baby. Plus, they also have a baby monitor. But what ends up happening is the opposite. When the parents, Anne and Marco Conti, come back, they find their baby missing, and it is then the race against time to find the baby. And a lot of stuff happens, and it's amazing. One of the best books that I've read. And moving on, was that the last standalone, or... No, oh, okay, so another book that I have read, which I don't have the physical copy of, was The Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein. It is set in two different timelines. One is in the 20th century, and one is the 21st. Vivian/Neve is a young girl who comes from Ireland with her family for a better life, and one fateful night, the building catches on fire, effectively killing her family. And so this young girl goes on a train, which acted as an adoption agency of sorts. And so in each and every different city, they would hold an auction of sorts for the prospective parents to meet these orphans and hopefully adopt. Now, because the young girl is Irish and Catholic, there's a whole lot of prejudice going on during this time. This book is also a historical fiction, because historical that it is a real event that happened in history, not just to the Irish, but to orphans, basically. They were called an orphan train. The next story, timeline is of Molly Eyre, who is in the foster care system. Her father passed away, and her mother is in jail, and so she's dealing with what it's like to be a foster kid. Her foster mother is a piece of work, and the foster father, while sympathetic, okay, hold on, to Molly, he doesn't really rebuke the wife. That's how it goes. So Vivian/Neve meets Molly, and they really start to connect and learn about each other. And they realize that they're really not all that different. It's got a lot of heart, it's got a lot of... It's heartbreaking, but it's also heartwarming. Because the book is written beautifully. The next book that I have read is Pashmina, I believe. This is a graphic novel that I read at work. I don't have the book, but wonderfully written. It's about a young girl whose mother immigrated from India, and her mother does not want to talk about India, doesn't want to do anything with India, and the young girl, because it is her culture and her heritage, wants to find out more. And also, she doesn't know a lot about her dad, and she wants to know why. So she finds this Pashmina, which transports her back to the time of India. You know, not the time, the country of India. And so she is trying to really take in the wonder and the exotic spices and the smells of India. So, as it turns out, she does eventually go to India, the little girl, because her aunt calls her. And so she experiences India for the first time, and she falls in love with it. She also understands why her father is no longer in her life. So, a really wonderful read. Again, it was a graphic novel, so I read it within an hour. The next book was an audiobook called Gone by Stacy Claflin. Oh, there's a whole reveal about that one. Oh my god, it is just... Ugh. Basically, a young girl is kidnapped by a guy who she thought was a 16-year-old, but it turns out to be a 40-year-old whose daughter is dead. And he basically tells the young girl to call him Dad and changes her name because he's a psycho. And this book was based on a true story. And once I found that out and mapped the story a bit, it honestly was terrible writing. Could not stand any of the characters. And, it boils my blood. I can safely say that that book has the honor of being the absolute worst of 2019. Just awful. And I don't care whether the character lives or dies in book 2 or 3. Anywho, that's it for the standalones. And next we have are the series. Oh wait, shoot. No, so I do this in every take, which is funny. You'd think I would realize by now. The last book, the last standalone novel we have is... I apologize. The last standalone we have is The Crown of Oblivion. I'm just grabbing my water so it doesn't fall. This book centers around a young girl named Astrid who lives in a dystopian world, or a country called Lenoria, and she enters the Oblivion race to gain citizenship for her family after the death of her father. That's not a spoiler because it happened literally within the first 10 pages. And because she no longer has her memory during the race, she's trying to figure out who she is and what kind of world that she's living in. And she has a helper, even though she shouldn't, because both her and the helper are competitors. And this race is to the death. Wonderfully written novel, and I have loved every single moment of it. It's got a bit of science fiction, it's got a bit of fantasy, it's got a bit of royalty. It's got everything. It's wonderful. I liked it a lot. And this, again, as you know, is from the Beacon Book Box. Alright, now we can finally move on to the series. Oy vey. Alright, so the first series that we're going to talk about is The Kane Chronicles. I have read book 1 and 2. I have yet to read I started the third one, but I'm going to finish it up in the next day or two. This mythology is regarding the Egyptian gods and goddesses. The siblings, Sadie and Carter Kane, accidentally set loose a bunch of gods, and they have to try to contain them before the world ends and gets taken over by the god of chaos, Apophis. It's got a lot of representation in there. The main character is African American. The sister, it's technically, yes, they're both biracial, but the sister passes as white. It deals with loss of parents, and it deals with divorce. Riordan is really, and I mean really good at representation. Much better than J.K. Rowling, I will say. And J.K. Rowling has written some incredible children's books. Alrighty, that's that. And then next, we have are the Trials of Apollo. This one is the Hidden Oracle. Basically, the premise of the series is that Zeus is really ticked off at his son Apollo for the events that happened in the Heroes of Olympus, somewhere over there. And so he wants to teach his son a lesson and says to him, your fault, fix it. Sends his son to the mortal world as Lester Papadopoulos. 16, he has acne, he's flabby, and, you know, the god of music, poetry, and medicine, it's not about that kind of life. So he and his very merry band of cohorts, such as Meg from the Cabin of Demeter, have to try to figure out and try to take down the main villain, which is Nero. This book is more Roman mythology, but as you know, Roman and Greek mythology is very similar. The Greek gods have been adapted into Roman because, you know, both of their cultures were similar to a certain extent, and the gods can take any form because our beliefs are very powerful. Really good book. Sets up the problem. Then next we have Reg, The Dark Prophecy, which is the second book. This one is not my favorite because Apollo is a very, by the way, it's very hot here. Apollo is very vain, narcissistic, and arrogant. And, oh wait, it annoyed me to no end. My favorite part of this book was the return of my all-time favorite character from the Heroes of Olympus. I'm not going to tell you who, in case you have not read it. It's wonderful. That's the only thing. But it was very slow for me, for some reason. It's just, I couldn't get into the story as much because of Apollo, and I really liked the side characters more. Wonderful. In this one, they are going to get a prophecy. It's dark. It's a really good book. Next we have, which by the way, was my second favorite of the book. Sorry. The Burning Maze. We see some favorite characters from the Heroes of Olympus. By the way, we see characters from both series. Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus. So, again, it's wonderful. Hold on, what's the battery life? 3%, okay. It's wonderful. It's amazing. This is a book that I really cried in. I knew what was going to happen in advance, but again, Riordan is such a good author that even if you know it's coming, you're still gonna cry. Apollo is really, at this point, starting to figure out his mistakes. He's starting to figure out what it's like to be human. You know, and he's reconciling with the fact that his actions have had so many consequences. Wonderful book. Then we have the penultimate novel of the series, because the next one comes out in 2020. You know, this book came out a couple of months ago, and it's called The Tyrant's Tomb. And this is Apollo's book. Like, you want character growth? Here it is, baby. This was wonderful. His lessons have been learned. He is now really, really doing some soul searching. He's figuring out, wow, I was a terrible human, I was a terrible God. And so, with the help of Raina, Frank, Hazel, Meg, Grover, Coach Edge, all these wonderful people, he's starting to learn, he's starting to grow, and the stakes have been raised in this one. That is it for the wrap up. Next, I am going to do a video of my Christmas haul, because it is Christmas, and a tag, if I can find one. I will see you all very, very soon. And it is hot in here. Alright, I need to open up a window. I will see you guys very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.